as I was saying, the challenge we've got is that we're both losing our voices because we've been talking so much this week already. So hopefully we'll make it through the next couple of minutes anyway. So losing our voices, we're at the expo last couple of days, Recruitment Agency Expo. We're just chatting about that. You're saying the positivity is pretty cool right now.
Yeah, it was just, everyone you were talking to was talking about like how they're hiring more recruiters, they're looking for tech to, really make a difference, but just, I don't know, it's just like a buzz. It was almost an energy that you struggle to describe it, but
Yeah,
just like the feeling that you got in that room was amazing.
yeah.
And I think it's even bounced from Birmingham. So when we were at the Birmingham Expo in October, people were sort of, starting to have that excitement, but this was just like almost like fever pitch of the recruitment agency. And I think it really reminded me of like one of the things that I love about the sector
Mm,
is the people that work in it.
yeah.
Like, it's what I think makes recruitment very different to anything else. It's
No, for
just like,
sure.
people who always want to strive to be better, people who, want to, learn new things and actually how open they are to learning and conversations rather than being sort of closed off.
So I did a session around basically how do you maximize this opportunity right now with the markets and all the good stuff? How do you convert it into commercial gain and everything else? And I have been inundated yesterday afternoon and ever since today with people just following up, asking questions. How do I do this? What's this about? Didn't know you could do that. Didn't know that was possible. Exactly as you said, these are people who are some are brand new, some are startups, some are people who've been running recruitment companies for 25 years going, we need to really make this happen now because this market is brilliant. It's got its challenges, it's challenging that sort of stuff, and it probably won't last forever. So we've got to make hay while the sun's shining, but also make sure that the stuff that we're doing today sticks and stays. So this is our business model now for the next 5, 10 years, rather maybe the next couple of years while the bubble's still blowing up a little bit.
Yeah, that's really interesting because that was actually part of my talk. My talk was all about getting the best return on investment from your technology purchases. So after
Yeah.
you've actually bought them, make sure you get the most out of it. And that's one of the things I was talking about is like, don't just buy for the moment. Like you might need something that just helps you right now because everyone's so busy. And there is
Yeah.
going to be some certain decisions you make in the short term, but actually really make sure everything that you're making that's a big purchase, especially like a technology or like you're talking about really changing processes, that they are going to be fit for purpose for the long term because
Yeah.
you don't want to have to redo it again. Like you want to do the work once and do it properly.
Yeah, definitely, and that's a really interesting point, right? Because there's, like anything, when suddenly it all just goes crazy like this, we all start pedaling, right? We pedal really fast. That's probably why we're losing our voices. But we're pedaling really hard and that sort of stuff, and we're winning deals and winning new types of deals. And your client, I mean, the amount of times in this week alone, we've had members contact us basically saying, "Jane, I need some help." Another client's just basically said, I need another 40 of these. I don't care how you find them, where you find them. I just need another 40 of these quickly. Yes, you can have it on a retain. Just whatever you want to do, just find me the bodies. And this is brilliant right now. There's a bit of panic around it though, so we've got to be a little bit careful so we don't overpromise, start stretching ourselves too much. We've got to be sensible about how we really monetize this opportunity and monetize this moment. So I think there's a bit of sense of euphoric panic activity going on at the moment,
Yeah.
which is not a bad thing in essence, because it's sort of like, it's like, when you're playing a game of football or something and you've got, you're in the groove and you're just going for it and going for it and going for it. You don't really think about anything else other than just going for it. You're in that flow, I suppose. But the reality is, I think we've got to look at long-term strategic plays here. We talk about this with clients, right? Don't just go to a client and just go and fill your boots with as much business as you can right now. Lock them in on an 18-month contract now, so you can build out a proper systematic campaign with them. That's long-term strategy rather than a short-term fix.
Yeah, and I think it's just people thinking different. I was literally just sat. It's really random. This is the recruitment industry, though, isn't it? I was just making a coffee downstairs in our office and bumped into somebody I used to work with like 7 years ago, and I was like, "What are you doing here?" And then so we went for lunch, and he works for Indeed, and he was talking about how they're doing like these recruitment events for stuff. It's more the like really high volume stuff. But just like their partners are now doing like events. So if it's a shop that's looking for a new opening, they'll actually give like a pre-opening to the people who are going to work there. And
Yep.
right there, they come and look round and experience it, and then interview there and then.
Yep.
And it's all about how do you get people, attract people, but then get them through that process as quickly as possible. I was just like, things like this would just never have happened previously. Like people are having to think different and be, be entrepreneurial and things like that to be able to be differentiated.
Yeah, and I'm going to disagree with you now. I'll never disagree with you on these things. We're always meant to agree, right? But I'm going to disagree because actually this stuff did happen previously. This is the ironic thing about it is the old school way of recruiting. We used to do this. We did it manually. We didn't have tech to play with, that type of stuff. We did this manually. I used to run, if I go back to when I started out in recruitment, we used to run these amazing academy days where we would, for a client, we'd do a load of branding stuff, a load of EVP stuff. We didn't call it that back in the day. We didn't know what it was called. A load of stuff, and then we invite like a whole day. We bring in like 50, 60, 70 candidates for the day, and the client would choose their top 20. And the proper, I mean, that was old school sort of stuff, very manual, very hard work, very volume and based, that type of stuff. You now bring a lot of technology into that and the stuff that you guys do, and you can really turn it into a beautiful product. So this stuff I think has always been here actually. I just think now we're suddenly going, well, it's okay to do it again, which is sort of pretty cool.
Yeah, I suppose it's almost been around, especially in like grad stuff, hasn't it? You always have like the grad assessment centres, but yes, how do you use, I suppose, these tools for volume and like your client, the recruitment network saying, we need 40 of these people. Like you can't do the headhunting approach like at scale for 40 people really quickly. Like no one has the time or capacity. So yeah, it's I just think anything that causes people to think differently, I absolutely love that.
Well, this is it. And I met a great guy yesterday who is hoping to come and join us and do some stuff with TRN. And set up a recruitment business. And part of his strategy, when they win a bit of business at the moment, he will always on a retainer, doesn't do contingent, always on a retainer. He goes out to that customer's office with a video camera, interviews the CEO, spends half a day there, recording the office, interviewing people, brings that back, creates a video, which then is part of his advertising campaign that goes live as part of the retained process. Now, that's nothing new about that particularly, nothing particularly clever, but he goes, that's just what I do. It's not like it's quite cool. It's like, that's just what I do. How can I recruit otherwise unless I can take the culture from inside your office and take it and showcase it to your potential target audience? I love that as a mindset because it's like, well, yeah, that is what we should be doing, right? Makes sense.
Yeah, it's not how you're adding extra value to certain clients. It's actually improving your core process.
Yeah, because guess who wins? Well, we do as recruiters because we make more placements and the candidate wins and the client wins. It's all a pretty good sort of thing. What's the obviously the expo's died down now, and we're going to get our voices back at some point. What's in the pipeline for you guys moving forward now? I know you've been actively recruiting heavily. I know that.
Yeah. So still got 9 roles, I think, live at the moment. So actively recruiting. So these next 2 weeks will just be full of interviews, and then I'm over in the US from the 27th of February for 10 days in Austin. So we're going to a conference out there, and then that's where we're thinking of, we're pretty nailed on launching our office later in the year. So it's a bit of a get to know the place and, try some barbecue food and live music.
For sure.
Have a bit of a recce of the situation. But just a big push now to get as many people in before I head off to the US for a little bit, and then.
Fantastic. Well, I mean, and the US market, fascinating, right? And Austin in particular, great market at the moment. We've really pleased. We've just signed on the deal with on the line with a new guy who's going to run one of our members' office. We were looking at this guy for months and months and months now. He's going to launch a US office for one of our members. We'll get about 30, 40 people in the next 12 months. Really exciting. But we had to get that right person. And then we had to get the right location as well. We're looking at, all sorts of places from the Carolinas, through to Boston, Miami, Florida is becoming a really interesting play at the moment for the recruitment world on a whole host of reasons. So I love the fact that, the traditional New York, LA, Dallas, whatever it might be, is now no longer. It's sort of like there's like 20, 30 places you can choose from, and they've all got merits and all values as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's a really exciting market. Like the explosion over there is just insane. Like if we think we're candidate short in the UK, like there's a real candidate shortage over there.
Yeah, absolutely there is. Yeah, and that's why we like working with people like PGC and those sort of guys, and Amy, and because they do such a great job of helping people get out there and make that work. So, which is good. So, brilliant. Listen, Adam, as always, great to catch up. Great to see you. I didn't even see you at the expo. So great not to see you at the expo. That's because you were running a bar at the Source Breaker stand, and I'm not drinking at the moment, so I didn't want to be anywhere near anyone with alcohol.
Cool. Well, yeah, good to talk to you as always, and I'm sure we'll see each other the next few weeks.
Fantastic. Thanks, Adam. Take care, mate. Cheers.
Cheers, man.
Bye.